is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Well, hello, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast. We're back for episode number 16. I'm Joel Osborne, this is Sam Hardy as always, and this week's guest, we have our first studio guest on the podcast. We are very pleased to be joined by none other than Flyers point guard Jelani Watson-Gayle.
I wanted some hype there.
That was your cue, Sam, to ham the soundboard. We had the soundboard. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, I missed my cue there.
Jelani, you see how we do it on the podcast here. We're still very new to this studio setup. But you're the first guest we've ever had in the studio. How's it feel?
Feels good, the first guest.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's the best guest as well.
Well, there we go. You're setting the tone now for everyone else. So that's it. Everyone else has got competition. So just tell us a little bit about how you're settling into life in Bristol so far. Are you enjoying your time here?
No, definitely enjoying it. I'm a person that doesn't take me too long to get settled in, but it's just helpful to have coaches, staff, and just everyone, a part of the organisation, just wants to get you settled in and helps you get settled in. So yeah, good environment, man, definitely.
Yeah, you certainly settled in on the court. Have you had a chance to sort of settle in off the court, get your bearings around Bristol, had a chance to go out and check out your surroundings?
I've gone out a little bit. Still, we've got a lot of time, so we've got a lot more places to see.
Have you visited anywhere? Where have you been? What's the best place you've been?
In Bristol?
Yeah, go on. What have you seen?
What have I seen? I've been down to the harbour side. Been down to Cabot. Nowhere really exciting just yet, to be honest. If I'm being honest. I need some recommendations, man.
Oh, sure. See if we can fire some through. Get some people to tweet us in some suggestions as well. That'll be a good shout. If you're listening to the podcast, tweet Jelani some good places to go out and eat. What's your kind of thing? Are you into going out for meals? You into for like nights out, drinks out? What's your
meals? Recently I found out how good brunch is.
Oh, really?
Brunch is where it's at. Give me all the brunch spots.
There we go. All the brunch spots. Just tweet Jelani Watson-Gayle.
We went somewhere the other day that was doing waffles with fried chicken and maple syrup on. You want to know where that is, don't you? I can't even remember where that is.
See, the thing is, living in America, I've tried stuff like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've tried stuff like that.
You're tricking us because you sound English, but you've been in America for what, 7 years? Is that right?
7.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes.
What's the thing you miss the most about the UK when you go over to the States like that?
What did I miss the most? My mum's cooking, to be honest with you.
Really?
Mum's cooking, and obviously it depends what city you're in. Like if you don't have a car, it's hard to get about if you're not in like a proper big city.
Yeah.
When I first got out there, I'm someone that I like to just go and leave and just be about. I couldn't do that. I had to rely on people to give me lifts and stuff, and that was quite frustrating at first.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
How old am I now?
Yeah.
24.
So you moved out to America when you were 17?
16. Like fresh out of year 11.
Wow. That's madness.
The thing is, like, at the time I didn't think nothing of it. But like when I look back now, I'm like, yo, like, that's kind of mad.
Yeah, right. I know. 16.
Literally, if you were to meet a 16-year-old now, they're literally children, aren't they? So that's what you were. And you moved on your own, with no one else?
Yeah, by myself.
That's cool. That's quality. Yeah.
I'm like, where did you move? I can't remember.
Georgia. So I was in Augusta, Georgia. Awesome. It's about like 2 hours from Atlanta.
That's helpful because someone always says something about America. Like here I have no idea where anything is, but anywhere near an NBA team, like that's all I know about. That's my geography of the USA, I'm afraid.
Jelani, obviously we're down here at Ashton Gate Stadium. I know you guys came down for the Bears game quite recently as a team. How did you find that one?
No, it was a good experience. I've never been or seen a rugby game. Last time I even was involved in rugby, it was probably I played like one rugby game in secondary school, just
really?
one.
Yeah,
I wasn't going back afterwards. Just one, man.
Yeah, obviously they got tonight is a Wednesday. They've got City. Got a match day tonight. Have you been to watch the City game at all?
I haven't. I do want to go. I haven't watched any football matches in a long time.
Are you a football fan though?
I don't want to say I'm a fan because I'm not. I don't watch it, but I like to play it though.
Well, I was doing my research on you. Yeah, I was doing my research on you when you signed, and I saw that you, as a kid, played for Leyton Orient, right?
Yeah, I played for Orient from when I was about. I started at like 8 to about 13.
Yeah.
12 or 13. Yeah.
What position did you play?
Centre back.
Okay.
Centre back.
I was big. I might not look big now in basketball, but football I was big when I was younger.
Yeah.
But they put me all over. I even played a couple games in goal. Striker, right back, centre back. Not centre mid, though. That's too much running.
If Nigel Pearson's listening to this podcast right now, you reckon you got some words for him to maybe get him a dual contract?
If he needs a centre back, just hit me up.
There you go. If you're listening, it's City. If you're listening, we got ourselves a player right here.
To be fair, have there been some injuries? I think there might be some centre back spaces going, so we'll get you in.
They could do with some spots being filled. Jelani, what was it that made you make the switch from football to basketball then?
Honestly, so I would like go to basketball camps with my brother in the summer. Then I kind of just enjoyed it, and it was crazy because I started playing basketball and football at the same time. So I would go to a football match, come back, and I'm going to the park in my football tracksuit with a basketball, playing basketball. And people are looking at me like I was mad. But I think what it was I was centre back. So I kind of felt like I was always out of the action. But then with basketball, it's like constant. Do you get what I'm saying? So when it's constant and you're just going up and down, it was more fun for me. It was more exciting.
And you have a bunch of friends around you that were playing as well? Was it just your brother?
What, basketball?
Yeah.
Really just my brother. I got into it through him. Because most of my friends were all my football friends or school friends. No one really played basketball. So it was really my brother. Then he took me to my club. Then that's where, yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. And now they get into basketball. I think most people go in from like football, especially in the UK now. That transition from football into basketball is a very natural sort of transition, I feel. Jelani, just shifting gears, mate. We were chatting in the office earlier to Alistair, who works as our head of finance for. You know, at the start of the season, you have your little presentation about who's the faces you come into.
Yeah.
One of those faces obviously was Alistair, who controls all the finance, and he was chatting to us about the podcast. Obviously, he listened to the last episode, and he was saying that his girlfriend's favourite player is Jelani Watson-Gayle.
He's like keeping her away from him. Well, they came and watched the Plymouth match on Friday, didn't they? And which was unbelievable.
Yeah, right. We'll get onto that very
game, innit?
Yeah, we'll get onto that very shortly indeed. I mean, that was a absolutely bonkers game. And obviously, Jelani, you've been in Bristol for like a month or so now. I understand you're rooming with Leslie Smith. Is that right?
Les, that's my boy. That's my guy.
What's he like to live with?
Les is he's funny, man. He's funny. I think me and him just naturally click like straight away. And it's crazy because the thing is, Les knows my brother from when my brother went to America over 10 years ago. They met each other. It's
That's crazy. The basketball world, we say it every episode, right? But the basketball world is actually ridiculously small. Like people know someone who played with someone's brother or someone's cousin at school, or they've played together on the same team at some point in their careers, or when they were juniors or something, and then all of a sudden now they're all playing in the pros together. It's mad.
Yeah, because even me and Brandon have like mutuals. Because Brandon's from Birmingham in Alabama, and that's where I went to school for 3 years. So like we both have mutual friends and stuff.
But you never played against each other?
No, we didn't.
No, that's crazy. I keep seeing on Leslie's Instagram story, like he's cooking.
Who's cooking?
Leslie's.
Oh, Leslie's cooking. Leslie thinks he's a chef, innit?
Has he ever cooked for you?
He ever cooked for me?
Living together?
No, me and Leslie, I'll cook my own stuff. He cooks his own stuff.
No sharing?
No, because it's like one day he might want to eat salmon. I don't want to eat salmon. I want to eat some chicken or something.
I did see on his Insta the other day, he put like a salmon dish on his story.
Les loves him some salmon, man. He loves it. You know he's from the islands, innit? He loves fish.
Do you fancy yourself a bit of a chef? Are you a bit of a chef in the kitchen?
Yeah, I chef a little bit here and there. Sometimes it's like, I don't feel like cooking. I just throw something in the air fryer.
I'll tell you what, air fryer, by the way.
I could talk about an air fryer for an hour now. Maybe that's all this episode
That's the episode, just be like air fryer podcast.
Do you know, I think we've been done by the air fryer companies though. Because I was looking into what an air fryer is, and it's basically just a small oven. And so the oven companies were like, everyone always has an oven. Like, we need to find someone else to sell them. So they just make a small oven, basically. That's what they've done.
There we go.
They've got us all.
Listen, an air fryer is a lifesaver.
That's it.
Just chuck it in, go about your business, come back 20 minutes later, it's done.
We'll call it the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Terrible. That's a.
Oh, there we go.
You got to give him an A for trying, though. Yeah. A for effort.
Jelani, great to have you with us on the podcast. Sam, should we get to this week's news around the league?
Yes, let's do it.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
So obviously the big news around the BBL this week is, I know last week we were talking about the planning hearing down at City Hall. We got the green light, so that is officially a goer. Flyers will be in their new home in a few years' time, and we understand that work could start in the summer. We had that planning hearing right last Wednesday. I know, Jelani, you and a bunch of the players went down to that planning hearing.
Yeah.
How sore were your knees 2 hours into that hearing?
It was cramped, but I'm only 6'1", so I'm seeing Les. He's next to me. Les is struggling. He's over here moving and trying to stretch his legs out and stuff. But I actually wasn't that bad, surprisingly.
The meeting was what? It was meant to be 2 hours and it ended up being 3 and a bit hours long, didn't it?
I saw the players all started dipping out one by one, didn't they? They just sort of get up and slowly walk out, and then there'd be like a minute break, and then someone else would get up slowly and walk out.
I heard you text coach and he looked up at you guys and was like, yeah, God, you can leave now. Is that true?
No, because it was funny, because it's like I was sitting there with Les and I was like, Leslie, we could really all get up one by one and just all leave and then we can go. Then I looked to my left and they was already doing it. Yeah, me and Les were like the last two people.
Rumour has it, I heard some of the players started snoozing off in the middle of the meeting as well, in the planning hearing.
I didn't see anything.
Wasn't it one of the, like, I mean, I know you grew up in England and as did we, but like, wasn't it one of the weirdest things you've ever been to? Like, I've never been to anything like that, and it was so formal, and I just couldn't get my head around how weird it actually was.
See, the thing is, I was actually looking forward to going there because I've never actually been a part of that. And kind of like just trying to figure out what was going on and stuff. It was a bit confusing at first, but it was quite interesting at first. But me, I lose interest quick, so I was kind of
Well, when it got to the second hearing, like that one at the Longmoor Village application, obviously everyone was there for the moment when the arena was given the go ahead, but then obviously had to do the second one as well, and that's when you guys started to move on. And Sam, I know you had your concert, didn't you? You had to go to.
Yeah, and so I got out nice a bit early, and it was a great concert. But I wanted to see it though. I wanted to be there with everyone. We were actually like, yes, we've got it, because I heard it was quite close at the end, wasn't it?
Oh my God, so I'll tell you about the last few moments of this planning hearing. There were a couple of abstains, there were a couple of fors and againsts, and we were down at the moment. We were down at the last sort of 3 or 4 people to go, and then all of a sudden the last 3 people on the panel made the decision, and it was like 4, 4, 4, and the guy was like, "Thank you very much. I declare this application passed. Bang, jobs are good," and everyone started clapping. So that was like the. I think there's a video doing the rounds on social, or I think I've got it on my phone. I think Rogan sent it to me of the moment, so I'll share that with you as well. So that was really good news. But I didn't realise it was on YouTube. The whole thing was streamed on YouTube.
Yeah, we could have just.
Well, I could
watched it on YouTube.
I could just put out a tweet saying, watch it live on YouTube. Watch the moment we get our planning application passed. But if you want to go watch it back, you can go watch it back. It's on the Bristol City Council YouTube channel. If you want to watch the whole 3 hours in its entirety.
I'm glad we went though, because I must add, the carpets in that place were the softest carpets I've ever felt. On my feet, that's all I'm saying.
No, but obviously it was good to be there. Historic day for the club. Got the application to go ahead, and hopefully we can crack on and start building it in the summer, which is great. Get on site in the summer for work to get underway. Other news around the league. London Lions had their Euro Cup debut last night. They fell short to Hapoel Tel Aviv, 76-59 in the end. But first thing I noticed when watching that game was the crowd. I don't know if you saw. Did you get a chance to watch it, Jelani?
No, I didn't actually. No.
The crowd were insane. It's like watching a football match. There was literally chants the whole way through, flags. Your typical European basketball kind of atmosphere. And I see loads of tweets about how we can replicate that kind of atmosphere in like a BBL game. But what do you think, Jelani? Could you imagine people like that at the Wise campus waving flags?
I would love it. I would love it. Because one of my schools, Miles College, that I went to, our fans used to be into it. Like they used to be into it. It made it so fun. Like there'll be times where like the DJ will play songs at halftime, and the song stops, the crowd's still singing it. Someone on the mic is like, "Hi, could you please be quiet? Could you please be quiet?" I would love to play in an atmosphere like that. Love it.
But the thing is, with this match last night, is that it was, what are they called? Something Tel Aviv.
Hapoel Tel Aviv.
That's technically like Tel Aviv's like second team, right? Not second.
Well, not their second team, but like another team out there. Like they have obviously Maccabi Tel Aviv, that play EuroLeague, and then Hapoel playing the Euro Cup.
And it's still sold out, and it was a massive audience.
Yeah, really good.
Like, that's the atmosphere. And obviously it's a different world in America where the crowd's just like, what was that, college level even?
Yeah.
The college level, even that is nuts, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Like I think that's just the love and the support of the game in itself. Which, to be honest, going back, when I left, I didn't feel like the awareness of basketball in England was that big. But coming back, it's definitely growing.
Yeah, the game's definitely growing. Like you see the investment into into the league now. You see more GB players coming back home to play in the BBL. It's really great to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of GB players, Dan Clark announced as the new GM of the Surrey Scorchers. That was a bit of a shock. Okay, good for him to sort of continue his career. Now he's finished playing. Everyone anticipated him to sort of re-sign for the Manchester Giants. He announced his retirement. Everyone was wondering what's next, and then obviously now being the GM of the Surrey Scorchers, it's an interesting move.
Well, I think it's good for him. I think, like, you spend your whole life playing basketball or whatever sport you're playing, and you're finding loads of people sort of head into, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But a lot of people want to stay in sport, don't they? And I suppose it's a way he can stay involved with basketball. We down here at Ashton Gate, Scott Murray, who was the unbelievable player for Bristol City, he's now the kit man down there, isn't he? So it's one of those things.
Yeah. So. You know what's quite strange about it, though, is obviously he used to play for Lloyd Gardner last year at Manchester. Now Lloyd Gardner's moved to Surrey as head coach and Dan's come on as GM. Technically, Dan Clark is now Lloyd Gardner's boss. So that's a bit of a switch in positions, isn't it?
Everyone listening should tweet him saying that now he's your boss. Go on.
I think it's also good to have a player's perspective, though, in like the decision-making role. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. You can have impact on, you the players. You always talk about how you want the game to grow, and now that's a great chance as a former player to come in and actually be a part of that growth. And you talk about how it's growing so much, like to actually be backing it up. Not just saying like I want to see the game grow, but actually actively going out and doing something about it. Like that is really great to see. So we wish Dan all the best in his new role. I think that's it. Oh no, biggest news of the week. Can't pass over this. Obviously, us beating Plymouth City Patriots by 10.
Oh, by how many?
By 10 points.
Oh, by 10 points. Lovely. Right, go on. You were in that game. How did you find it?
It was a weird game. Do you know what I'm saying? We started off, we was up, come out at half-time, I think we was up like, 9 or 8 or something like that. To come out, it's like we just lost the lead like that straight away. Then they jumped into like a zone, which kind of messes up for a little bit. Then the tables turned again. We went up. Yeah, it was a fun game to play in. Definitely.
Yeah, obviously it's so that obviously the history of the Southwest Derby, but Flyers and Plymouth teams have always had that sort of rivalry between them over the years. Obviously, we're not too privy as to what's being spoke about down on the court, but was there a lot of like trash talk in those games?
Not that I heard or saw. I was guarding LVC. Me and LVC are cool, so we wouldn't really talk trash to each other.
No.
I loved watching yours and LVC's battle. Actually, there was this bit where you were like, he was guarding you so hard, like on one side, and you spun him twice, like the same move basically. And then I don't know if you got to the hoop at both times, but I was just like,
there was a cheeky little floater in there. I remember.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
That was nice. That was real nice.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about that Plymouth game a little bit actually, because Plymouth on the day. And this is going to be a sort of a bit, not a rant, but like a bit of a
rant.
Yeah, well, yeah. Basically, they obviously announced their new signing hours before tip-off. So Patrick Lanny-Peckin, the GB, well, the British guard, they announced him. I think it was like 3 p.m. ahead of a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Now, there's a few things I've kind of got a bit of beef with on this. One of them is you're giving your team a tactical advantage here by not revealing a signing, and obviously this player would have been training with the team all week, so they could have announced him earlier in the week. Jelani, are you finding like, if a team announces a player or as a new player added to the scouting report quite late, how does that kind of throw your game plan or mess with your scouting report going into tip-off?
Messing the scouting report up. At the end of the day, the game's all about adjustments. So if there's a new signing or not, we've got to adjust and just deal with what we have to deal with. Do you know what I'm saying? Fair enough, he wasn't on our scout, but he was able to adjust in the game. So.
Yeah. Well, he didn't get loads of minutes. In this instance, he didn't get loads of minutes, did he? He didn't play loads, but it was in other instances, there might be like a top American they're spending top dollar on, and they get announced on the day. They come in, they score, even if it's like 15, 20 points, like that can mess whole teams up. Like, and it is an advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to see the league sort of clamp down on it a little bit more. Once the player's registered, they should give them like a 24-hour window to say, look, your player's now registered, you need to announce them by X date, or else we'll put it on our website, or something like that. Just a matter of fairness. Like, it's like hiding hiding key signings ahead of tip-off, and then being like, oh, surprise, we've signed, and it could be a player completely different. It could be like a
LeBron James.
Yeah, it could be a LeBron James.
That was great timing. Thank you.
I love how you just found out, you just remembered which pad is the right one for the LeBron James sound there. They all look the same.
The trick is they're all LeBron James.
Turns out it didn't matter anyway because he won by 10. So pretty good going in that game. Flyers 3-0 now in the league. Jelani, you played 3 league games for Flyers. How are you finding that step up into the BBL level?
It's good. It's an adjustment at first, I'm learning just even the more stress and importance on details, such as within offense, positioning on defense, and just stuff like that. But you can tell it's the players with that pay attention to details are the ones that separate from the others.
Yeah. When I speak to players and in the past who've been new to the league, they always say they have their that was my welcome to the BBL moment. Whether it was like taking a really hard screen, or whether it was like not realizing how quick a guard is on a crossover or something like that. Have you had a welcome to the BBL moment at all in those first 3 games?
Have I? Don't know. I'm not even sure. Maybe some questionable calls by the refs.
that might be your welcome to the BBL moment. Some questionable referee calling.
What do you mean? Our referees are perfect.
If any referees are watching this podcast, that was a joke and strictly for entertainment purposes.
Battery's not included.
There we go. I mean, it's actually, if you think about it, 3-0 start to the season, but it's actually 6-0 if you include those 3 pre-season games. What do you think has been like the secret to your guys' success so far this early in the season?
The secret, to be honest, we've just been playing really hard on both ends, and I think what's good about our team is we have so many different weapons. As you can see, if you probably look at the box scores, there's probably like no consistency between it. It's like this person's up one game, this person's up, and we have so many people that can just come and produce.
I'll tell you a little secret that I think is the reason for our games as well.
Flubber.
Obviously, we've got the very deep squad this year, and lots of different players can get hot on any given night. However, every game so far, I've worn my Dunk J-Pack Chicago's to the game, and we have won, and they're continuing to be worn until we lose our first game. So that is the secret to the success, surely.
And I wear the same pair of pants. So,
do you have any like superstitions or anything like that on game days at all, or not?
First of all, I hope you're washing them. You said, do I have any superstitions?
Yeah, like or routines that you do every game, or like some players put certain shoes on first or whatever.
I always put my left shoe on first. But superstitions, I didn't like getting caught up in it. When I growing up, I used to if I would have a good game, the next game I would try and do everything that I did that last game. But I tried to get out of that. It's more so just getting yourself mentally in that zone, which I do doing through music and stuff before the games.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you become like Rafa Nadal, don't you? All of this the whole time, picking out your shot. It gets making sure your waters all lined up. It can be a bit weird, can't it?
Yeah.
And it's also sometimes if you have a routine, there's some stuff that you can't control that might change that routine. So then now if that routine's changed, my whole mind's because I didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? So.
I've noticed you like to spend a lot of time on social media. Is that sort of one thing you do to unwind? Like I've seen you're very active on Twitter.
Well, yeah, a little bit, to be honest. A little bit. Just just like to interact sometimes. Just when I'm tweeting, I just whatever comes to my head at the time, I'll tweet it. If it's PG rated.
Yeah. I noticed you got the blue tick the other day. Is that quite recent?
Yeah.
How did you manage to wangle that one? I've been trying to nag them for ages to get our players blue ticked, and Jelani just goes off and does it himself.
I know a person that knows a person. That knows a person.
Mr. Elon Musk.
There we go. Blue tick me now. Yep, thank you very much. I've got a tweet here that I want to flag from your recent tweets.
From my recent tweets? Oh, God.
It's a tweet you put out the other day, October 6th, and the tweet reads, Every team I've been on try get on me about my height like I'm 5'10" or something. I'm actually sick and tired of it. And you quickly followed that up with, when I tell them I'm 6'1", they look at me like I'm nuts. Can we set this record straight right now as to how tall you are? First of all, let's name and shame who is calling you 5'10".
To be honest, that list is so long. Talking about Every single team I've been on.
I think we should do it right now. So Sam, how tall are you, Sam?
6'2".
So Sam is 6'2". I'm like 5'10" or 6 foot if I've got shoes on. Let's stand up. Let's tell you what.
Up. Headphones on.
Well, yeah. Watch your headphones. Just take your headphones off a second. There you go. So can we see? So Sam is 6'2". Yeah, I reckon he's about right. I reckon you're like 6'1". Hang on, I'm technically 5'10". So hang on. This is going to sound a bit awkward here.
Next to me. See? Wait, that's a bit weird. Hold on.
Yeah, that works.
That's depth perception right there.
Yeah, that works. There we go. So that's the myth busted right there on the podcast.
Yeah, no,
So-
definitely. Do you know what it is? It was after the City Hall.
Yeah.
I must have said something, and Mike Edkins, our manager, he was the first. And you know how Mike is in it. So Mike said it. I looked at him like this. Then Leslie's got on me. Then VJ's got on me. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Because even at my last school, right, they used to get onto me. I told him, I said, bro, come and measure me right now. I made my teammate measure me. He measured me. He was 6'1". He's like, you know what? I apologize.
There we go. Myth bust right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.
Yeah, so Mike, VJ, and who was it else? Leslie, you watch yourselves, all right?
TB as well.
And Thomas Bell.
Yeah.
There we go. They've all been proven wrong right here on the podcast. We'll clip that bit up and put it on social, and then they can and then see what they want to say
Put
about
like
it.
a ruler in the back there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Jelani, obviously we've spoken about your time at BBL so far. I kind of want to touch on your college career a little bit. You obviously came from Division Two program. You spent the last 5 years there. How do you look back on that whole college experience in the States?
The whole college experience. To be honest, it was good. From a basketball standpoint, I was on a lot of different type of teams. So my first team, Benedict College, was probably one of the most talented teams I've ever been on. But we lacked discipline. So that prevented us from having the success that we should have. Then I've been on teams that were less talented, but everyone was bought in and more disciplined, and we've ended up winning. And it really taught me what it really takes and what it means to win.
Yeah, like you say, you spent you jumped around 3 different programs.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of offers coming out of school to different places to go? Obviously, a lot of players will say I want to go play Div 1 straight away. But it's more than that, isn't it? You have to weigh out your options. Where will best suit my style? How many minutes will I get here? How many minutes will I get there? What kind of offers were you getting coming out of school?
Do you know what's funny? So I was my senior year of high school, so my last year. The season ended. I had not a single offer. I had 0, and I was low-key kind of not panicking, but you know what I'm saying. I was panicking. I'm not gonna lie, I was panicking, but I just stayed at it. I was actually playing football at the time, so I would go to that football practice, and my coach hated it, but I would just conserve as much energy as possible. I would just sit on the side, just passing. Even if I lost it, I wouldn't go and tackle no one. I'm staying on the side. Then I would go to the YMCA. Then I would be at the YMCA from about 8 to 10 when it closed, 10:30. And I did that for a month straight. Just stayed at it. Then I got a couple workouts, and I killed at the workouts, and I ended up getting my first offer.
You were hustling.
No, literally I was. I didn't have people thought, oh, you're in America, it's just that, but there's a lot to it. I didn't have a single offer. I was just, yeah, man.
Look at him now, signing his first pro deal.
I mean, and you coming in, I hadn't heard loads about you beforehand, just we meet as you come through to media day, actually. That's where I met you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I've loved watching you play, mate. You're so electric. And one thing that I wasn't expecting, I think, and I don't know for what reason, but your shot is on. You from outside the arc, you hit so much, and some really key moments this year already, some game-changing moments. You've hit just massive threes, and I'm loving seeing it happen, man. And that obviously you hustled a lot, and that's what it's led to, I suppose, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, I noticed after the Giants game, you did a jersey swap with Taj Green of Manchester Giants. Obviously, he went to, is it Benedict he went to?
Yeah, he went to Benedict. He went to my first school.
No way.
Did you guys play together on the same team, or was it a couple of years after?
No, we didn't. So the year that I left, I think that's the year that he came in. But then I think he had to sit out that year. So we didn't even play against each other. But, obviously it's a mutual respect there.
Yeah, it's like alumni from college, isn't it? You just know. It's like other UE players, for example, with us. Do you know what I mean? You just know someone that's played for UE like even like Dale Pesh now plays for Uwe, and we used to play for Uwe back in the day when
You
we were
guys used to play for Uwe
when we
back in the
were ballers, weren't we? We were on the same team for Uwe.
You should. The team now has got nothing compared to our team. Back then.
Western 1A champions.
You do. The thing is, that team that is there now, not me necessarily, but Joel and Steve, who's the commercial manager. You got a lot to thank for that the Uwe team do, because they put so much effort in. Joel made like loads of media stuff for it, and Steve did loads of like making it a really big, cool thing, and we grew it massive.
Yeah,
and that's where it is today.
It was just a single. It was just a single team, men's team only at the start, and then they went up 2 divisions in 2 seasons. They added a women's team. They added 2. Now they got 3 teams. They have a men's first team, second team, and third team. So it's transformed massively since
You guys started that, yeah?
Since we left. Steve changed the name from the UE men's basketball team to UE Jets.
Or the Uwe Jets.
So he made a logo, had a logo done.
You did the logo, didn't you?
Club. No, I didn't do the logo actually. I just did some social media bits for him.
Speaking of Uwe, quickly though, did you see Malk's dunk the other day where he stole it and like absolutely and that kid went up to block him? What is he doing?
First of all, I don't know what is wrong with that guy. If you see Malcolm is like 6'8", like 300 kg of pure muscle. Why would you jump?
he passed it inbounds to him, and Malcolm's just standing there, and he just like, thank you very much, yams it on him, and then he touches the ball and hands it back to him on a plate after. He's like, thank you very much, here's your ball back.
That is just absolutely. And actually, speaking of big dunks, that and Taj Green, did you see his dunk off the backboard?
I did, yeah.
That is one of the, like, that could be seen around the world in any league, and everyone would be like, that is unbelievable.
Well, it's like T-Mac flashbacks, isn't it, to All-Star Game like years ago. Vince Carter used to do it as well, didn't he? Like, it's from the 3-point line as well. I do think watching the replay, he lifted his pivot foot up, so it was a travel. But
but listen, it was a travel, but you just have to let it slide. You have to.
Yeah.
Because if you're the ref that calls that a travel, when the whole gym is gonna go crazy, then you're gonna have, you know what I'm saying?
It's like the Jordan dunk off the free throw. He technically encroached before it touched the thing, but you're not going to know. Ref is going to be like, oh, actually, you were just like 2 feet inside the 3-point line. Like, you just wouldn't, would you?
I think more so the refs would be in shock. They would even forget to blow their whistle if something like that happened.
Yeah, right. That would have been crazy. So we just going back to your college career. Obviously, you wrap up at Fresno Pacific. How did the move to Bristol Flyers come about?
How did it come about? My agent, he said that he spoke to coach, and coach was like, he was just like they can know each other, so he was just speaking to him, and I think he said that coach said he was looking for a British combo guard, and my agent was like, well, I got one.
Yeah, because you never actually played for Andreas at GB under 20s, did you? Because I think did he leave just after you came in?
So the year that I made the 20s team, that's the year he left. Yeah.
So you've never actually been. What's it been like working with Andreas?
Nah, good man, it's good, very good.
What's he like as a coach? Obviously, we see him off the court and there's all his interviews and stuff. What's he like on the court?
He's intense, but that's what you need, and that's what I'm used to. Yeah. From a coach, I'm used to, and that's what you need. He's intense, but you could tell he cares. Like, he really cares. Like, he'll take his time out of his day. If I ask him for individual help, he's gonna do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He wants the best for everybody.
And he expects a lot, but look what's happening. We're 3-0 right now, so it's working, isn't it? It's
probably one of the most busiest men in British basketball. Coach K. Obviously, he does like the national team stuff as well now, assistant coach for the national team. And I was going to ask you about this actually, because obviously we've seen players like Patrick Whelan come back into the BBL, play well in performances, and then earn a call up into the senior men's team. Is that something that you have like ambitions of yours to have as well, as to get that senior men's team call up?
I mean, it's always an honor and a blessing to represent your country. Do you know what I'm saying? So me, I like to just take care of what I can take care of. So as long as I do what I do on the court, what I believe I can do and what I should do, then if that happens, then that happens.
Awesome. Great answer. Shall we look ahead to this weekend's game?
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Let's do it. We've got Leicester Riders at home on Friday. Jelani, probably the toughest test we're going to have, we've had so far this season with Leicester. How's it been in practice this week? What are your thoughts ahead of that one?
No, practice, like I said before, we've just been stressing the importance of details, offensively and defensively. We heard Leicester's a team that likes to exploit your mistakes, so the room for error is small. The margin for error is very small. So we just got to make sure everyone's locked in, paying attention.
I mean, last year the team was unreal. Gino Crandall was obviously tearing it up. Slightly different team this year. What's the guard that's just come in?
Thornton.
Yeah, Thornton.
Yeah. Like he put up. How many points did he put up? Like 20?
Yeah, 20 in his debut.
20 in his debut.
Sorry, yeah. No, he's a good player. It's like again, it's always going to be hard to replace two-time MVP's shoes, but he looks probably promising early on in the stage. Very much the same team though. Apart from that, from last year, they brought in Blake Bowman though, as an addition, but pretty much they're the same squad. So it's going to be a really tough game. So if you are thinking about getting tickets, they are still on sale. We're down to the last few tickets though. Only standing room only and courtside left. Everything else is sold out. So head to bristolflyers.co.uk to secure yours now.
And we're going to need everyone's support on this one. We're going to need everyone loud, shouting, hitting the stands, everything. It makes you play better, right?
No, definitely. See, I love that. I thrive off that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need a rocking Wise campus. Saturday's game is also going to be our Black History Month celebration game. Obviously, we in the UK celebrate Black History Month in October. And the theme for this month's Black History Month, or this year's Black History Month, is action, not words. So one thing we're doing ahead of the game, give me 2 seconds, I'll get it right now, is we are selling these T-shirts at games. You guys are going to warm up in them as well. Our Bristol Flyers Black Lives Matter T-shirts. You can see them here on the podcast if you're watching the video version. These will be on sale at the game. They'll be available at the Game Day store at the Wise campus. They'll also be available online at bristolflyers.co.uk in the shop. They're around about £12, I think. I'm not too sure.
It's a bargain.
But all the proceeds raised from this, from the sales of these T-shirts, will be donated to the Black Southwest Network charity. So they're an organisation set up to be a driving force in racial equality in the Southwest. So action, not words, and we're doing it across the group as well. City having a game, Bears are having their Black Lives Matter celebration, their Black History Month celebration game even, and all the money raised will go towards it. So it should be a really hefty donation we're making to the cause. So it'd be great. Really good stuff. Jelani, obviously Black History Month this month. What does that mean to you personally, like Black History Month?
So starting from when I was young, my mum, she always stressed the importance of Black history. And I think it's important to just even recognise the contributions that Black people have made to this world. Because I feel like sometimes when we speak about Black history, everyone just thinks slavery. But there's so much to it. And we've had so many good contributions that I feel like those should be highlighted more. And people need to be educated on it as well.
Yeah, it really has come to the fore, hasn't it, recently? Especially the last 2 years through the lockdown and things like that. How important it is for role models and athletes such as yourselves to be speaking up on these kind of issues. Like, how important is that for you to be able to help educate people about these sorts of issues?
Well, if speaking on, like, even just, you don't even understand, you're not aware of like how powerful your words can be and who they can even touch. So even just if you have a platform and you can speak on it, that's great. I feel like you should utilize it. Definitely.
What kind of role models and figures were you looking up to when you were a kid, in terms of like Black history?
Really, my family more so.
Mm-hmm.
My mum, my brothers, my dad, my stepdad. Yeah, those mainly.
Awesome. That's really great stuff. Well, we've done a video with Thomas Bell as well that will be going out later on in the week. So do keep your eyes on social media for that. And there'll be a cross video as well between Flyers and Riders. They're going to be warming up in T-shirts as well. So that will be great. And like we say, tickets are still available for that game. So if you do get a chance to fancy coming down on Saturday, last chance to get your tickets before they sell out.
And they will sell out.
They 100% will sell out. Before we get to the mailbag, we've got a new little feature here. Shall we introduce it with a little transition?
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
It's called our Word of the Week. We're going to bring this in every single week when there's a home game that weekend. Obviously, I don't know if some of you will know that I do the broadcast for the live stream, the commentary.
I thought I recognised
You
that
recognise
voice
that
somewhere.
voice? Yeah. So me and Gareth, we do the live stream commentary for BBL, and we want to make it a bit fun. So what we want to do is we want to get fans, make it interactive. We want fans to tweet in a word of the week, and I will try and squeeze it into the live broadcast feed for that game. So it can be any word you want within reason, as long as it's not, it has to be PG. And I'll try and squeeze it into the commentary. So I guess for the first word of the week, Jelani or Sam, who wants to fire a word my way, and we'll try and get it in. It'll be good fun.
Jelani, you go for it, mate.
This is a really hard question here. Probably the hardest question of the podcast.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Wow. Okay, so this
Good
week's
luck squeezing that one.
this week's word of the week is cauliflower. Next week on the podcast, we will see if I manage to get that word in. We'll bring it back each and every week. It's our Bristol Flyers word of the week.
If he doesn't manage to squeeze it in, there is a forfeit, and we will let you know what that is next time.
Yeah, maybe you can get me wearing something funny on the podcast for the next episode or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll make it. We'll play as we go along. But that is it. Word of the week on the Bristol Flyers podcast.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, shall we get to some of the mailbag questions to finish things off?
In case you're not sure what the mailbag is, someone, Joel, will have put out on social media sort of questions that you can ask Jelani for today's podcast, and we're going to just ask him a few, just kind of quick answers, don't have to be too long, and we'll go from there.
First question, it actually comes from the Bristol Sport office here, from Charlie Lincoln, who is our head of marketing, and he stressed the importance of me asking you this question. He wants to know who your favourite NBA player of all time is, and it can't be LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Of all time. I'd have to go with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. Oh, that's a good choice.
He's unbelievable.
Well, he is outrageous. What is it about Kyrie you like?
Kyrie's just a wizard, man. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And literally, like, with defense, you do whatever, he's got a counter for it. Like, whatever you do, he's got something to get out of it. Love that.
Ever since he did his Uncle Drew videos, I was just like obsessed with him. He's so good.
Yeah, that was sick. Sam, you want to get on the next question?
Yeah, so Matt Hardy from BBL Daily wants to know, what were your thoughts and feelings after such an electric BBL debut?
My thoughts and feelings. My thoughts. Well, first, I've got like the utmost confidence in myself, so that was kind of, I don't want to say expected, but I expect myself to play like that and hold myself to a high standard. But really, it was the crowd that made it really good, because it was also like the timeliness of the baskets that I did make. We was always like, we was either down or we've just gone up, so like it was fun.
Yeah. What was that? What was that like for you in the build-up? Was it? Were you feeling nervous ahead of the game? First game as a pro?
No one's gonna admit, but I feel like I was playing nervous in the first. You see in the first half, like I kind of felt myself in the first half that I was just really passive, like really, really passive. And I just kept telling myself at halftime, no, just be aggressive, just be aggressive, just be aggressive. Like, just kept telling myself that. Then I came out, it was aggressive.
Yeah,
really.
19 points, 7 for 12 from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Not bad way to make your BBL debut, is it?
It's funny that you describe yourself as passive, because I would not have described you as passive in that first half.
In the first half?
No, but you've got your own sort of, you know what you can do, and you've got your own level for it, haven't you? So yeah, that's fine.
Got another question here from Livergas on Twitter, and this one might need a bit of explaining. Have you had any cake and custard lately?
You want me to explain it first?
Yeah.
So basically, it was in the summer, and I haven't really had, in America, I wasn't really eating cake and custard. I used to eat when I was younger all the time. So I've come home now, and I was looking forward to this cake and custard the whole day. So I've come back, I've poured the custard in the bowl, I've opened the cupboard, and there's no more cake. Someone in my house ate my cake, innit? So I've tweeted like, yo, my stepdad ate my cake, I'm fuming, I was about to have cake and custard. Then turns out it wasn't even my stepdad, it was my brother that ate it. So I think that's why he's asking if I had any, but no, I actually haven't had any.
Well, we have got for you. No, I'm joking.
I got some cake and custard on the podcast. That would have been great timing,
Drop from the ceiling onto you.
That would have been amazing.
Okay, so we have got a question from someone. I'm not sure if you know who this person is. He's called Tevin Ollison.
Yeah.
Question from
God,
Tevin.
what did Tevin say?
Who is the best looking on the team, and why is it Tevin Ollison?
Firstly, Tevin Ollison is delusional. Because how can he say he's the best looking on the team when I'm on the team? It just doesn't make any sense. So,
there you go.
The answer's me.
There's the confidence that we like.
There we go. Billy East on Instagram wants to know what you're enjoying most about being here at Bristol Flyers so far.
What am I enjoying most? I would say the team, to be honest. Like, I've been on some teams that haven't really gelled, and it makes it less fun. But from the jump, our team has just gelled, like, just naturally. everyone interacts with each other, laughing with each other. I think that's what I'm enjoying the most. Like I really like my teammates, and that's big in like team sports. Like actually liking your teammates.
Well, I suppose if you like them, you trust them. That's like that goes off the court. That goes a long way on the court as well, right?
Yeah, definitely, because it's like I feel like there's not really any egos on our team, and no one's really selfish. So like even if I'm passing up looks, guys are telling me, yo, shoot, like you need to shoot, sort of thing, and like you kind of need that from your teammates.
You're telling me there's no egos, and then you and Tevin are just saying you're the most beautiful on the team. Is that right?
Yeah, Tevin's got ego.
Okay, so
we had some really good questions come in actually from Newham Youngbloods. Obviously, your junior team growing up. They sent in 3 questions on Twitter.
Didn't you say ask a question? They sent 3.
I know they sent through 3, but we'll get through all 3. Why not? Let's do it. You won.
I'll go for it. What's the best advice you could give to your younger self?
To my younger self? Oh gosh. The best advice I could give to my younger self. I would say I saw this quote one time, and it was saying, use basketball, don't let basketball use you. So I feel like when I was younger, I was just so obsessed with it. That's all I did. Even like when I went to America at the start, all I did was just work out, train. I don't regret it because that's made me the player that I am today. But like, I feel like I should have went out and experienced like life a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, especially some of the places in America I could have visited so many different places, so many more places, seen different things. So I'll try to say like explore that a little bit more.
That's awesome. That's a really good answer.
That's really, really a good answer.
Another one from Newham. What's your favourite memory from your time at Newham Youngbloods as a junior, and why?
My favourite memory. My favourite memory would have to be our first Final Fours. So that was when I was 15 playing with the under-16s. And we went to Final Fours I think that was the first time in club history. And it was my best moment because I really like, I went to the club when I was 11 or 12, I think it was. It was rough. Like our first season, I think we didn't win a game. The next season, we won 3 games. Then the next season, we probably won about 10. But like we really started from the bottom, and like then we made Final Fours, and then I think that I played really well, even though we came second, which was frustrating. A lot of good came out of it. I feel like that's when my name started kind of floating around the country a bit more in the basketball scene, and I actually got my first England call up from them Final Fours.
That's awesome.
That is so good.
That's really good.
Should we do one more?
I got a couple more here.
Fire them away.
This one kind of links back to what we spoke about surrounding height, I guess. Newham Youngbloods asked this question as well. They said, "When will we see a dunk in your pro career?"
When will we see a dunk? No, I haven't dunked in a game since I was 17 years old. That's like 7 years. I got to get a steal on a fast break in it. If I get a steal on a fast break, I'm gonna dunk it. So if you're listening to this, and if I miss it, you have to, you know what I'm saying.
I'll tell you one player who's definitely been that we've seen has worked on their vertical a lot over the summer. Corey Samuels.
Corey has been putting out some tricks in the warm up.
Yeah, I literally is he like catching lobs, like reverse dunks, like everything, you name it.
Last year he dunked in a game, and was it you or was it Steve? One of them nicknamed him Corey Slamuels.
Oh my god, Corey.
I remember that, Corey Slamuels. That was the Insta caption, wasn't it? For the post. Loved it.
We have just one more question for you now. Quite a serious one, actually. But Michael Leatherbarrow from our partners at Drive MG wants to know: have you remembered to stop locking your keys in the car?
We need to hear the story here.
See, look, I knew Mike would answer the question. The story is basically, I went into the boot, so I opened the car. There's a little button on the door that you can press because it's what's the car you don't put the key in? What's it called again? Push to start. It's a push to start.
Yeah.
So I've opened the boot and I've fling my bag in the boot. I've closed the boot now, and as I've closed the boot, the doors have closed. My keys in the side of my bag, but. To my defense, when you have a push to start, the car is not supposed to lock if the key's in the car, right? Am I?
You're right. Yeah, you are right. He's right.
There we go. Well, Hopefully you're not locking any more keys in any more cars anytime soon.
I had to. I checked before we came in here. I was like, I was checking my pockets before I locked the car. I've learnt my lesson.
There we go. Happy days. I think that's a great place to start wrapping things up. Sam, anything else you want to add before we end the episode?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Like, really interesting guy, loads of great stories, and we're gonna get loads of the other players on over the rest of the season. Isn't that right, Joel?
Yeah, I had a pie from Mike Miller on the text message, so I'm trying to get Mike and Thomas Bell to come on at some point, but I might have to wait a few more weeks for that one.
You need to give him a little jab.
I think he wants to see what it looks like first before he comes on the podcast, so I think he'll be on in a few weeks' time.
We don't want him anymore, do we?
That's it. Well, we're going to the bottom of the list now.
Forget Mike, innit?
That's it. Jelani, thank you so much for joining us on the Bristol Flyers podcast. We'll be right back next week, same time here on the podcast.